Welcome back to Blue Nation. It's time for this week's Debate Desk segment. I'm your moderator, Jordan Trontel. We'll start off in the NFL. Which one of the teams widely considered to be a Super Bowl contender do you think is more of a pretender? We'll start with you, Noah.
Thanks. I'm going to go out on a limb here. Actually, I don't feel like I'm going out on that much of a limb. But I'm going to say it with me, folks, the Minnesota Vikings. These guys are miscreants, losers, and riffraff. They are unwashed and they are unloved. Don't take them completely seriously because they don't mean it completely literally. In fact, let's just call them the worst team in the NFC at 10-2.
At the top of the NFC, the worst team in the NFC.
Yes, I know. But have they won any of those 10 games in convincing fashion? The answer is a resounding no. They're not for real. Kirk Cousins isn't going to take you any place but a first-round exit. And I've never been more confident of anything in my life.
Does this have anything to do with the sweatshirt you're wearing, Noah?
What sweatshirt?
All right. I think the Vikings are legit, though. I think they've proven enough. A win is a win. That's what everyone says, right? The pretender is the Dolphins. I mean, look what happened this past week against the 49ers. They faced a real defense, and they got nothing going for them. I don't know if Tua is the answer. He's questionable and injured right now, so we'll see what happens there. But without Tua, that offense is going to be dead because Tua is the only thing they had going for them. And against the top defense, Tua wasn't able to get it done. The 49ers look like they could be actual contenders after that performance last week. I just don't think the Dolphins are it in the AFC, and I'm willing to say that. Everyone's been hyping them up all year long. I don't really see it at the point right now, especially after last week and a couple of the performances I've seen out of the Dolphins. I just don't know if I can trust him, especially when I have Raheem Mostert on my fantasy team, but I've now traded him away, so I'm happy with that.
All right, let me ask you this. Do you think they're still a playoff team?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they will. I mean, I think it's easily a playoff team.
Yeah, I mean, mathematically, I think they pretty much have to make it, especially if, like, the Chargers and all those other teams in the AFC don't feel like winning any games.
The Broncos?
Yeah.
Except for the Broncos are mathematically eliminated?
Yeah, already. Raiders, too, right?
Yep, I think so.
Something
I think they were the first. Because the AFC is just stacked this year.
Something like that. All right.
All right, so moving on to Major League Baseball, and more specifically Cooperstown. Fred McGriff was elected to the Hall of Fame this week by the Contemporary Eras Committee. That same committee chose not to elect players who got caught using steroids like Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens. The question is simple. Do steroid users belong in the Hall of Fame? Justin, I'll let you start with this one since Noah started with the last one.
They have to be. I mean, it's impressive what they've done. Sure, steroids played a factor, but they still played super well. And even without steroids, they were good players before that. Everyone was doing it at the time. You can't discount one guy because he was better than the rest on steroids. Everyone did steroids in that era. Barry Bonds is the all-time home run leader. He was incredible, has the most intentional walks in history. That shows you how fearful teams were of him. You got to give him a shot to get in. I would also like to pitch a case for Pete Rose.
Hold on. We're talking about steroids.
Yes,
We're talking about steroids here, not betting. You can't bring in Pete Rose. You can't do that. That's moving the goalposts. You can't bring in Pete Rose to try and make your argument, argument about steroids look a little bit better.
I'm not trying to make it look better. I know Pete Rose is a completely different entity, and that's why I'm saying he should still be in. I mean, he was incredible in his time. Just because he decided to gamble a little bit, he shouldn't be banned from baseball for life. But steroids, I think, steroids era was an era. It's a dirty part of baseball history, but it was a part of baseball history, and dudes did incredible things during that time. So why not let them get into the Hall of Fame during that time?
Well, I've got an answer for you, Justin. Nobody here in the studio, at least, or really anywhere, who is alive remembers the Black Sox scandal in 1919. That is, unless you were watching Blue Nation last week when my friend and colleague Nathan Blazer was guest hosting. But people don't realize just how close the world came to losing the sport of baseball, to losing Major League Baseball, that we came from betting. That's why betting is the big no-no. That's why Pete Rose, despite being the hit king, despite being otherwise clean, that's why he's banned from baseball for life. And no matter how big of a threat to baseball betting is, steroids increase it like tenfold. Steroids are the biggest threat to baseball in the world. They have completely ruined the record books, completely ruined all the stats. Think about how many careers have been ruined just because Barry Bonds wanted to use some more roids. You cannot look at that home run record and tell me that it's legit. You cannot tell me that a natural Barry Bonds would hit more home runs than Hank Aaron or even Babe Ruth. The thing about steroids that nobody gets, that people who go, oh, but let's let Barry Bonds in, the people who say that, what they don't get is that steroids has ruined countless careers because a hitter can adjust to a pitch that's thrown 10 miles an hour faster, but a pitcher can't do anything about a ball that's hit 10 feet further.
Here's my counter argument to that, Noah. When was the last time baseball was most popular?
It was the steroid era, but do you remember what happened right after that with all those congressional hearings?
Everyone got pissed.
Yeah, they did.
The most entertaining time for people was that era. It didn't ruin baseball, it grew baseball. And then the backlash from it put baseball down.
Yeah, in the same way that Reaganomics didn't ruin the economy, it grew the economy.
All right.
Do you see what you're saying here?
All right. I think we should probably wrap it up a little bit.
All right. Well, I guess that's where we'll have to end it, or else we're going to get taken off the air. That closes the book on another episode of Blue Nation. We have obviously done all the damage that we can do here. To find more episodes of Blue Nation and other great TV 10 content, including a handful Sounds of the Valley, Home Screen, and BNN, check us out at mytv10.uwec.edu or find us on YouTube. From Jordan, Justin, and all the rest of us here in the studio, I'm Noah Schwartz. Good night, everybody.